Hello everyone, in this video let us talk about data-driven testing. We recently started talking about test management for Jira, which is a popular app for test management, and using this app you can bring test management capabilities in Jira by simply installing the app. And of course it has a lot of options. Using test management for Jira you can not only do industry standard testing, but you can also have integration with some other tools, and you can do an automated testing as well. Of course, we'll cover those topics in future videos, but since we are talking about starting to use Jira for testing, it is very important to also cover the topic of data-driven testing. Now, when we talk about testing a functionality, let us say if we are testing a simple mobile app, or maybe we are testing a web-based application where we have usually some data to test. For example, if you're testing a simple login functionality where you ask the tester to enter the username and password and you wait for the expected result. Similarly, you can test a web form where you are maybe testing how the functionality will work based on, of course, your data. Now, in almost every testing, you have to test with data as well, where you basically feed in the input and you wait for the output, and that is nothing but the expected output. Now, in testing tools, and also if we talk about test management for Jira, you have the option to basically specify different steps, and for each and every step you can enter or you can have some instructions about what data you want to enter into this functionality, where you want to test what will be the expected output. Now, when we talk about doing the same test over and over again, it can be a bit cumbersome to manage the data, because you have the logic of your testing and you also have the data. So we have to separate these two things so that we can focus on the logic, which is of course the instructions or various steps that you want your tester or maybe the automated test to perform. But you also have your actual data, where you are worrying about how the output will behave, or what will be your output based on different permutations and combinations of the same data set. So you can basically create this data set and you can expect some output based on the data set. Let us say if you have a search functionality, or maybe you are trying to do something online where you have a web form. So you basically feed in the information and you know what will be the expected output. So you can have this data set defined in your tool, and when you perform the same test using some automated testing tools, you can actually configure your tool to read the data from the data set. So you have the information about the input, and you also have the comparison of the expected output, because you have your data set that defines this should be my expected output. So you can always compare. So you have of course your data, your input, and you have your expected output, and at the same time you have the tool that will read the input, and it will also do a comparison. So this is something really handy, and it will really have some benefits. First of all, it will make your testing time a lot less, because you have already segregated your data and your logic, and of course you're using automated tools. And at the same time you can always reuse your test cases if you have to, and this is normally the case when you do testing, because you have to perform the same test over and over again until all the bugs are resolved, and maybe you want to test for different environments. And apart from these benefits, there is also one more benefit, and that benefit is the coverage. When you do testing, it is always a requirement in organizations where you want to make sure that your requirements are covered by different test cases. And when you have your data set defined, you're actually able to have a wide range of data that can be used for your testing, and it will definitely increase your coverage, and it will of course help you in making sure that you deliver a right kind of software, and you basically deliver high quality software in the market. So this is all I wanted to cover in this video, and in the next video on test management for Jira, we'll of course start doing some configurations. We already discussed how to quickly use test management for Jira, where we installed it and we started using it immediately. But we also have to learn how to configure it and how to basically use it as per the requirements of the organization. So I hope you learned something new today and you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you very much.